Good morning and welcome to this week's live video in our group, Women Healing from Emotional Abuse with Power, Passion, and Pleasure. Or if you're listening later to this video, my name is Ailsa Kepi and I'm curator of the group on Facebook and also a somatic coach, intimacy educator, and body worker. And you can find more about me at www.pleasureforhealth.com. So for those of you that have joined today, we are talking about conflict in relationships, and I specifically wanted to address this for this particular group because sometimes we get caught up in not wanting to have any conflict, but then we take the conflict on internally in our own selves, and this conflict between what is and what we want, and what we're hoping for with the person that we're with, or whether we really feel dedicated and committed to this relationship, points to some specific things that are going on within us. And when we look at that conflict in a way of what is this holding up a mirror for me to look at within myself, we can take back our power and actually do something about it, because we are our own best friend. We can work with our own relationship with ourselves, and we don't have to rely on someone else being the way we wish they were. So I'm gonna just kind of talk through a few ways that you might not have registered actually means there's conflict in your relationship, and let's look at whether that's a conflict in your relationship. Like, is somebody actually actively trying to cause conflict with you, which is possible, or is this a conflict within your own feelings? Like, am I conflicted about being in this relationship at all? And let's look at those two aspects. So I'm going to give you a couple of things to think about. Are you someone who complains to other people outside your relationship, but you don't want to talk to the person whose behaviors actually upset you? So this could be a boss or a colleague, and you could be one of those people that goes around to your other colleagues and says, "Oh, I hate how so-and-so does this. I wish they wouldn't do that. How can anybody work with this person? It's impossible to work with." And you complain a lot about a certain person, and yet you are not addressing that directly with that person. Now, this could be in your own personal relationship as well. You could go out with your girlfriends or your buddies, and you're complaining about your intimate partner, but you're not actually talking to your intimate partner. So this can point to the fact that we are conflicted about this relationship. And what comes to mind for me is that there's a fear there, and there's some kind of fear of addressing the conflict directly with the person involved. So if your boss, your colleague, your partner does something that really annoys you, or you want to address with them, but you're not actually able to speak with them, why is that? And it's a worthwhile question to ask yourself. What is getting in the way of me talking to them? Is it my fear that they won't like me? Is it my fear that they'll leave? Is it the fact that I don't want to have conflict? When I go home, I don't want to deal with conflict. Perhaps you have a stressful job, or you have lots of kids, or you have other things going on, and you don't want to go home and have to deal with more difficult conversations. Maybe you don't have the skills to have those types of conversations, and you don't know how to do it. So that's also something that you can look at for yourself. What is the fear? What is the feeling? Why aren't you willing to address this completely with the person involved? Now, if you're with an emotional abuser or any kind of abusive person, it may actually be a safety issue, and you may be right to be afraid of speaking up with this person. But what you want to notice is, if you're complaining to lots of other people outside of this relationship and not dealing, not able to directly deal with the conflict in your relationship, what is this a relationship you want to stay in? Is it worth staying there? And if you are afraid of speaking up with this person, then you've got to ask yourself, why am I still here? If I'm afraid to speak honestly with this person, why am I still in the relationship? And Again, I don't have any judgments about, there may be really good reasons why you're staying. It may just be the fact that you don't know where else to go right now. But those are things that the conflict now is within you. So this is something you can do something about. I don't want to stay, but I don't know what else to do. There's the conflict in you. So what steps could you take to get out of that conflicted place? Well, maybe you could find out, start looking around at what other options are available, right? So it's a really good mirror for us. So here's another one to think about. You assume that asking for what you want will end in a fight, or it will embarrass you both. So if you decide to ask for what you want, let's say you want your partner to come home and have dinner at 5:30, and they don't tend to come home, or sometimes they come and sometimes they don't let you know, you're angry about that. And, but you assume that it's going to end in a fight if you bring this up. Now, is that a conflict in you, or is that a conflict in your relationship? So let's look at that. It could be either or. If you bring up something that when you want your partner to change some behavior and they don't want to change their behavior, or they feel attacked. Now, most of the time, abusers feel defensive very quickly. So as soon as you say, hey, honey, I was hoping you would be home earlier, they see that as an attack right away. So yes, there may be a conflict, and that may end up in a fight where it shouldn't really be a fight if you're just making a suggestion. So, there is some conflict there that you might have to deal with. Is there a way to improve communication skills? Is there a way to help the person, yourself, and them feel safe enough to have a conversation? Is this person just not wanting to listen to you? No, you're not important. In which case, again, you got to ask yourself, why are you in this relationship? If you can't speak up and ask for what you want, what are you doing to yourself in this relationship? You're continually trying to second guess what the other person wants, how to keep them happy, and not being able to say what you want. To me, I chose not to stay in a relationship like that because I want to learn how to speak up for what I want. I want to be a person. I want to be present in a relationship with someone. I want to be able to have those conversations. Do I need to learn some skills in communicating? Probably, absolutely. So if you are having difficulty speaking up around something that you think might cause a fight, and you're not doing it very masterfully, that might be adding fuel to the fire. But you got to look at whether that is something that you can improve and work on, whether you want to work on that, or whether it might be better to just look for different people to be in relationship with. So you criticize each other, but you minimize or deny the problems when confronted. This is something that actually shows up a lot. You see couples criticizing each other. They're always nagging each other. They're always putting each other down. But then if an outside person says, oh, you two seem like you don't get on very well, then all of a sudden you're best buddies and you're really close, and you're protecting each other. So there's a conflict there. Like, why are you trying to give an image of being together, but then whenever you're on your own, you're kind of complaining and criticizing? Is that something that you need to look at yourself? Like, why do you feel the need to criticize the people close to you? Maybe it's something about yourself. Maybe you actually feel really down about yourself, and it's, instead of dealing with your own feelings of depression, or your own feelings of not being empowered in your life, so you criticize those around you. That could be something that you need to look at. Or it could be something that you end up like in this kind of criticizing relationship, or your partner criticizes you all the time, and yet they still want you to dress up, and they want to take you out and have you as arm candy when they're needing you to look good. And that could lead to a conflict for you and in the relationship. So many scenarios, but these are things to think about. Like, if this is present in your relationship, there's something to look at. There's something to look at in the relationship, and there's something to look at for you. So here's one that comes up a lot too. You don't know how to ask for closeness. It's easier to say, "Oh, I'm sorry I said anything. I didn't mean to say that. You don't need to answer that. I'm sorry," rather than pursuing the issue, rather than asking for closeness. Now, what does that mean? Well, probably that we have an issue with intimacy. And I know for myself, coming out, of an abusive relationship, and when I began to study all this stuff and really dive into it for myself, I know that I have issues with getting close to people, and it's a lot easier to just say, "Oh, no, I didn't mean it. No, it's all right." If I tried to kind of say something about what was really important for me, and the other person wasn't welcoming to my discussion, then I'd just back away. And I actually still do that sometimes, believe it or not. I do back away a lot easier, and I have to kind of go, "No, wait a second, this is important to me. I need to step up here." And fortunately now I have people in my life that I can do that with and are more welcoming. But the best partner in the world is not always going to be ready to listen and ready to hear what you're saying and in a great space and making you feel loved right when you need it. They're human. So I have a wonderful partner, but there are times when I need him to listen to me and he's not in the right space, and we have to negotiate that. And so, I have to be able to ask for closeness. If what I really want is to feel loved or to feel loving or to be, to have a hug or just to feel that intimate bond with my partner, I need to be clear about asking for that. And personally, my partner called me out on that a lot at the beginning of our relationship. He would say, "What are you? It seems like you're manipulative." I would kind of waft around asking for what I really wanted instead of just saying, "I feel like I really need to know you're here for me. I'm feeling insecure right now. Can we have a moment of closeness?" Actually saying that really helped in my case, instead of me nagging him or criticizing, "You're never here for me," or "How come you're always so busy," or "Why do you never do this," or "Oh, I'm sorry that I'm not around enough for you, and do you need a hug?" He would always push back on that, because he's like, "Why are you asking if I need a hug if you're the one that really wants a hug?" So these are things that, again, they put that mirror up in front of us. So another one to think about is the thought of losing a relationship stops you from trying to improve it. So you might think to yourself, "Oh, I can't get another divorce. It's not always this bad. After all, he puts up with my moods. I guess I can put up with, some of his shit, or her shit. And, I just can't go through another breakup right now. I can't deal on my own right now. I can't lose this person. I can't lose another relationship. I can't fail again." Failure comes up a lot with women that I work with. I just can't have this go sideways. So therefore, I'm not going to try to communicate clearly. I'm just going to keep the conflicts in my own self. So all of these put this mirror up in front of us. And I have to stress very strongly that if you keep these conflicts in you and you bury them, it will come out in pain, in illness, in, cancer, dysfunction, depression. It will come out in so many ways that you will get brought down anyway. You cannot hold conflict in your body continually without it affecting you physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. It will affect you. So, the biggest thing that I say to my clients that start working with me in my programs is that we're going for integrity. What does integrity mean? Well, it means that you're in alignment, that your physical body, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your spiritual aspects are in alignment with who you are and what you want and how you move through life and your relationships and how you communicate, that all of that is in alignment, because people can tell. You can tell. Your flow is going through you in a consistent manner, rather than, "Oh, I don't mind if you do that, but I don't, yeah, sure, you go ahead and, you can tell that this person is conflicted. If you are saying one thing and acting in a different way, we call it passive aggressive, we call it lots of things. Does this mean that you have to take responsibility for all the conflict in your relationship? No, absolutely not. Your partner or your boss or your colleague may be an abusive person. They may have lots of issues themselves. But this group and this talk and the work that I do is about you. It's not about fixing everyone around you so that you don't have to look at yourself. This is about how can we help you, you in this relationship, so that you are in integrity with what you want to choose. And if you choose to stay with an abusive partner, at least you're in integrity with that, and you're not also causing yourself the conflict inside yourself. If you choose to stay because you have kids together, because he's got $1 million, because you like the lifestyle, like I've met many women that choose to stay, and that is fine. But be, in integrity with your choice. Don't choose to stay but wish you were gone. Like, you're going to make yourself ill with this type of conflict. So make that choice. And if what you really want is true intimacy, is like taking time to really get to know someone, is being yourself, like if you really want to be seen and heard and loved for who you are, you have to let that inner you be the same as what is showing on the outside. And if you really want that, then you have to work for that. And that requires being honest in your relationships with yourself and with whoever you're in that relationship with. You can't be seen and loved and have great intimacy if you're not starting from a place of integrity in yourself. So what I would say to anyone watching this video is that if you want to come to a place of integrity, we can do that work. We can do that work before you make a choice about your relationship. You can get in integrity with your own self whenever you are ready to do that. And that does not require you to be moved out or financially dependent or, split up or have your divorce finished or any of that. You coming into integrity with yourself only requires that you're ready to do that work and look at yourself and decide that I'm going to be in integrity. And if it means admitting that I'm in the wrong place, then it means admitting that and saying, well, how can we move towards, make a plan to get to where I really want to get to? And if I want to stay here because I feel that the things that I get from this relationship are better than, this unknown, then make a choice to stay and be happy, agree that that's what you're going for. So anyone watching this, integrity and finding, getting out of conflict is entirely within your power. And if you're interested in doing that, please book a call with me, www.ailsakepi.com/apply. I'll put it in the notes after this talk. Please book a call with me and let's get you going on this journey of getting out of your conflict, because the conflict is only hurting you. It's not hurting anyone else. If you're with an emotionally manipulative person, they probably aren't in conflict in the relationship. They get a lot from you. They are happy getting a lot from you. They don't have to give back so much. Maybe they love bomb you every once in a while and it costs them a few $100 to buy you some flowers and chocolates and take you out. They're not in conflict about the relationship. So if you are the one in conflict about it, then that's something that, we have to get you to move beyond that, because coming into integrity eases up all those physical symptoms that are coming out because of that conflict. It eases all of your emotional, mental constriction of being like, oh my, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. I hate it, but I love it. That conflict will drive you crazy. So let's get you out of that, and if the emotionally abusive person has no conflict, all they want is someone that they can use and abuse, they're not in conflict about that. So don't expect them to make your choice for you. You make your choice for you. If you're in conflict, let's make a choice to get you out of conflict and into integrity. And so that's my offer, and I really hope that any of you watching will take me up on that, and let's chat. It's absolutely free. A 1 hour call. We will talk about your particular situation, look how we can help you move forward. I have many options for how to work on this, and I look forward to talking to you all. Love to hear your comments. Post your comments in the chat after this call if you enjoyed this talk. Also, if you have things you would like me to address in our weekly live videos in the group, please do let me know. PM me, post it in the group, and I will do my best. And hope that you have a wonderful Friday with as little or no conflict as possible. If you're conflicted about whether to call me or not, call me. Don't stay in conflict about it. Post that you would like a call with me and let's set it up. Then that's one less thing you're in conflict about. All right, take care, everyone.